Spring is almost here. We're in the middle of March. We got over 70 degree weather. Sure, it's windy, but daylight savings time has begun. And get more stuff done after work. They say Central Illinois experiences all 4 seasons within the span of a week. But hopefully, spring will stick and we get no more snow. But gaming knows no season. It's 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day if you're real hardcore about it. There's been all this chatter about AI. AI is going to replace all the white-collar jobs within a span of 18 months. Artists, their jobs are going to be gone. Magazine writers? Yeah, AI can write the article for you. And now, AI can produce entire Hollywood movies. And I even have my own AI problem. You know, I haven't been able to go to the Calvin Ghost arcade a lot lately. Cat drama. In fact, after I won the Gamer of the Year award back in 2021, I had to step away from the gaming scene due to cat drama. Because it was real bad. Now, the last time I was at the Calvin Ghost, I had to spend all my time completing my level 3 challenge card before anybody else got a crack at it. And I couldn't hardly take any scores because I was so busy with that challenge card. And plus, my time at the Ghost was kind of short. Due to cat drama, of course. I was there long enough to hear what my rivals have been doing. It seems my AI problem has become an obsession problem. And it's to the point that it's like, it's pretty alarming what I was clued in on. How bad this is. I mean, I've always had rivals at the Galpin Ghost Arcade. It's been kind of like me against the world. And I don't think that's ever changed. Most of the players may not be around right now, but there's been one constant. The fact that this AI has been granting me residence for this long is getting ridiculous. It's to the point that I need to do something about it. And you've probably heard about a little something called the Best of 7 Challenge. When rivalries come to a point where a hardcore tile match isn't enough, fighting for position in a T20 doesn't settle anything. What really has to happen is a one-on-one competition. Sure, I haven't won every best of 7 challenge I've ever been in. I've got a couple that are still pending because certain things have not aligned themselves to allow this to happen yet, but they will happen. But I will have to say, this best of 7 challenge I'm about to issue, you know, I did it informally before. And it wasn't accepted because he's afraid he might lose. It's to the point that now, because of what I heard the last time I was at the Galloping Ghost, how this person was seeking mercenaries to take down scores I had because he couldn't do it himself. I now have to issue this best of 7 challenge formally. I'm not fighting artificial intelligence, but I have to battle this AI. Andrew Iwaszko. That's right. You may be 2-time Gamer of the Year. You have over 200 high scores. But in tournament situations, you haven't exactly dominated, have you? In a one-on-one competition, are you as good as you say you are? To be this obsessed with me after all this time. I mean, I delayed your second reign as Gamer of the Year by a year. You're still fighting for that third. Maybe even Gamer of the Decade. Regardless, if you are that good of a gamer, those 200 house highs, 2 reigns as Gamer of the Year, and you are worried about what I do on the arcade floor so much, you should step up to the plate. Accept my challenge. See, they're squawking about it. These guys are squawking about it as much as I am. They're squawking about it. They want to see. It's about time you step up to the plate. I am formally now challenging you to a best of 7 match. If you're that good, you're obsessed with me as you claim to be, I'm giving you the chance to acquire whatever it is you seek. My burial is apparently what you seek. My burial. What better chance to bury me than in a best of 7 challenge? Maybe a 4-0 sweep if you're that good. So Andrew Iwaszko, it's time you step up. Accept my best of 7 challenge. I've wanted to play against every single Gamer of the Year in one of these. I've beaten one of them. That's James White. And so far, he's the only one who's stepped up to my challenge. And funny thing, you're obsessed with him too. In fact, you broke him, I'm told. So, Andrew, whenever you see this, step up, face me. Best of 7 challenge. Really show me up. This is your chance to really show me up. I'll be back at the arcade soon. I'll see you then. And it's game on. Welcome to the Crimeycade podcast. Wow. Took me off. Welcome to the Crimeycade podcast. I am Stephen Lucas, the 1991 Nintendo Campus Challenge National Champion, 2021 Goblin Ghost Arcade Game of the Year for yet another edition of the Crimeycade. And this is the time of week. Yes. Weekend's going to be busy for me, and this is my chance to have a little bit of fun and enjoyment and gaming chatter before I have to work my tail off for the next 48 hours. Yeah. Anyway, let's get started. Last week, my guest was John Yates, who is the owner of Arcadia, the America's Playable Arcade Museum. Sometime very soon, the Arcadia, its next major expansion, will open. It won't be this weekend. It might be on the 21st, or it might be on the 28th, or it might get pushed in April. But whenever it is, I'm going to be there. I'm going to stream it. I'm going to do a walkthrough with my 360 camera. So everything that's in there can be seen at whatever angle as I stroll through the place. So looking forward to that. Hopefully come sooner rather than later. Hopefully it's just a week or two away. I'm trying to get my thing back up. Here we go. And yes, I'm on the guest hunt for the month of April. Haven't locked anybody in yet. My search kind of got held up a little bit as I was trying to decide what pod to do, who could I get together to do it, and I'm thinking round tables and such, but I've got, once I get past this weekend, I think I'll get something locked down. I do have my guests for the next couple of weeks locked in, and I think people will enjoy those. So anyway, working gaming, you're a Terry competitor, you create content, you have some notoriety, or you're a gaming fanatic. Let's talk. Message me on facebook.com/Crimeycade. And so I'm kind of stagnated here. I've got so many followers on the Facebook page and Twitch stream, and it's stagnated. I'm kind of uncertain. I've been kind of debating, okay, do I start following random people on Twitch that I don't know or may not have interest in? And then are they going to, if I follow those folks, are they going to watch my stream at all? That's the conundrum I have. I'm not crazy about following random people I don't know, and am I going to be interested in what they have to offer? So, I'm not sure what to do, guys, on that front. But anyway, follow me on Facebook if you're watching on Twitch, Crimeycade,
Or if you're watching on Facebook, follow me on Twitch, rap_sheet, and past episodes of the Crimeycade will end up on my YouTube channel, tiny.cc/PWCI. And I have to give my weekly Beezer post. Will it ever reach the Galloping Ghost arcade floor? We shall see. I don't think it's going to be game 1100. That's for sure. As Doc Mac is still putting games on the arcade floor and closing in on that 1100 mark, which there is a card in the Walter Day trading card set that says there were 1100 arcade games in one location years ago. Unverified, of course. And an interesting little question. We learned that the CEO of Starbucks is moving out of Washington State because somebody passed a wealth tax. I wonder if Nintendo would relocate out of Washington State. Microsoft is based there too. Apparently not. Apparently they wouldn't relocate because Nintendo only has, believe it or not, only 5 billionaires working for them, and 4 of them are in Japan. However, that didn't stop somebody from getting in a pissing match with me, claiming, oh, I was lying about Starbucks leaving Washington State or planning to leave Washington State because they opened a corporate office in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, that's usually the first step before doing anything in particular. Yeah, they're calling it expansion, but will they stay there? Don't know. And Microsoft, you think Bill Gates is going to stay there? Stay in Washington State with his billions of dollars? I don't think so. The company may stay there. Xbox, they may still produce Xbox games there, but yeah, the highest profile people for Microsoft probably not going to stay in that state. Arcade Wars Game of the Month is Violence Fight. Galloping Ghost Arcade does not have that on the arcade floor, and so far it's the Garcade dominating it. Of course, not playing on original hardware, they're playing on a PCB. Shock, shock. And new house highs and world records right now. Chris Blackie yesterday retook Street Fighter 6, the arcade game, breaking the 2.6 million mark. Pinon had Hyper Street Fighter 2 last week, the anniversary edition. Andrew Iwaszko took Sonic Dragon and Mystic Riders and Kairos from me. Which, you know, that promo, yeah, I had to cut that promo because he's got a bit of an unhealthy obsession with me of late. And I think it's time that we do business. DD Crew, Brian Skillo, you haven't heard his name in a while, retook the house high on DD Crew with 250. And the big score, John Liming has been contesting the Galaga world record. Well, a gentleman by the name of Noxil has put up over 41 million points on Galaga, rank D, which gives you extra lives. So yeah, the new world record, John Liming wants to go after that score again, but he may have to, so this might be an all-nighter, an overnighter at the Galloping Ghost. The Galloping Ghost will have to set up a stream and accommodate him being past closing time, yeah, between 2 a.m. and 11 a.m. for him to challenge this score. Maxwell, I believe, did it home on his own arcade machine. So, Anyway, we'll take this down. Our guest tonight, he's known by a few different names, but most prominently known as Sid Seattle. He is a member of the tag team Team Scorechasers with Richie Knuckles. He's also involved with Aces. He's former Nintendo game counselor, former trophy designer for Sony. He also worked for Microsoft and Cultural Brain. So coming in tonight, Robert Racek. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, Mr. Lucas. How you doing?
Well, thank you for coming on.
You're calling Steve or Mr. Lucas? Mr. Lucas feels like I'm talking to.
You can call me Crimey if you want.
Mr. Lucas makes me feel like I'm talking to George Lucas, who did a couple movies back in the day.
Yeah, not related in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I would have asked him about THX 1138. The really
I've never met him.
You've never seen THX 1138? It's a movie he did before Star Wars.
I saw the Star Wars movies. I didn't see any of his other.
Yeah, Future Dystopia. Everyone looks like Sinead O'Connor, and they're all bald. A pretty horrible film, but it looks cool.
Might have been a little bit before my time, because if it was shot in the middle 70s, that's probably when it was made.
Yeah, 74.
Yeah, I was a mere 3 years old at that point.
Okay.
Anyway, and
so how you doing?
Yep, great.
So tell me about your 7-game challenge. How are you deciding what games?
Okay, so Andrew Iwaszko, he I guess he's got an unhealthy obsession with me of late. We've had a rivalry going for the last.
There's a lot of petty
5 years.
Yeah.
5-6 years now. Well, I've heard some things recently that kind of is like, okay, this has gotten out of hand. So I decided, we've always been rivals, but now it needs to come to a head.
It sounds like he's trying to get other people to beat your scores. That's kind of cheesy.
Apparently.
Yeah, that just shows you how much better of a person you are, because you actually get your own scores.
Now, I kind of thought about that myself.
I'm not saying he's a bad gamer,
Yeah. Oh, he's not a bad gamer at all. He's a great gamer, but the point of the matter is,
no reason to punch down, punch up. Gamers need to.
Let's put it this way: he won Gamer of the Year in 2019. I battled him tooth and nail for the Gamer of the Year award for 2021, 2022. And I won. I won the Game of the Year I was awarded the belt for the year 2021, 2022. And he wanted to win the belt a second time. I delayed that second reign by a year. But, I don't know why he's targeting me a lot more of late. So
they were all fair contests, right?
Well, yeah. He lives up there. I don't.
Well, you mean up by Galloping Ghost?
Yes.
Yeah, probably much easier for him to practice a lot more.
Well, he's there twice a week because he's local. My commute is 200 miles.
Yeah, I've never been there because my commute is like probably 1,500.
Well, that is a destination to go to for any gamer.
I know. I plan on going there. I plan on going there for T20 this year.
You are.
Yeah. I guess I
write that down. You are in for T20.
And I'll try to get a few other Team Scorechasers to show up.
That's. You know what?
Bring some real talent. Not that you're not talent, but you know what I mean.
So I am the one in the 10-1 that has a T20 title to my name.
You just want somebody to beat the other guy, right? Kind of.
Well, nobody. So Justin Bithell has won The T20,
10 times.
every time he's been in it. The one time he sat out, yes, it was COVID year, and yes, that was the year I won. The only person who's come close to beating Zurst, Zurst, was John Liming, and he came within 1 point.
Pete Hahn's really good at games too, and he's a local there.
He won't enter.
He doesn't play tournaments?
He won't do it. I've asked him repeatedly. It's like, enter T20. Yes, he used to work at Galvin Ghost Arcade, but he hadn't done it.
I'm impressed by some of his Darius scores. The 1987 Darius, he got like, I don't know, 7 or 8. I don't know how many points in the millions, like above 5. Yeah, some of his scores are really impressive.
Yes. So the best of 7 challenge, it is a blind draw, 7 games. They draw a name out of, or they draw a number, and then look up what game number it is. The list of all the games at the Galvin Ghost in alphabetical order. Whatever game is rolled. If it's a fighting game, it's a head-to-head battle. If it's any other game that's scoring, high score wins. I have added a rule that if there's a score or if the game is drawn that my opponent doesn't like or I don't like, I can use a reroll once to get a better draw.
Can you wait until all 7 games are drawn to decide which ones to reroll? Because that makes a difference.
It's best of 7, so whoever gets to 4 first. So we just we roll them one at a time.
And then you go play them?
Player game, we go back and then draw the next one. And then play that game.
Okay.
Then draw the next one. So we may not even play 7 games. We may only play as little as 4.
You can beat them in 4 straight.
Yes. It is possible.
Now, what's the strategy when he has high scores on games? Are those games that you know that he's better than you, or you just haven't bothered to play him?
So the reroll would be employed if he gets a lucky draw that he is a master of a game. Let's say he has the world record on it, and nobody can touch him. Like JP Pitts has the world record on Power Stone. Nobody can touch JP Pitts on Power Stone except for Aiden Cordova. So if I rolled Power Stone, I would roll again because I have no chance on Power Stone.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of strategy. You do want to save that roll until you absolutely need it.
Are these world records based on Galvin Ghost ideas or arcade or TG?
So the world records at Galvin Ghost Arcade are tracked by arcade.com.
So it's okay. It's
they own it now.
Yeah, I know. He's told me, Doc's told me many times he wants me to be a referee, but he's been telling me that for 6 years, and he just hasn't updated the site yet. He says it's a really easy transition because I believe in live verification.
Yeah,
which is the opposite of what TG went to. TG went to verified by popular vote and how active you are on the board, and which is okay, except there's a lot of legacy scores on Twin Galaxies, and even Arcade has some scores that I watched in person get cheated, and the referee at the time didn't care. He said, if you know how to do it, go ahead. Sorry, that was Nashvilleian. You probably know Clinton. Or Clint.
I know who he is. I've never met him.
He refereed the Grinkers contest in 2018. Mm-hmm. And there's a black and white game called Canyon Bomber. And all the black and white games that you play, like Atari football and stuff, if you put in 2 coins and let the machine think that you're playing 2 players, obviously the first player rolls all over the second player. Right. It's called a 2 coin drop cheat. And
Yeah.
there was somebody at Grinkers a guy named Keith who actually did that when nobody was watching, you know, and he ended up
Got
with like
an
1,600
advantage.
points. He ended up with like 1,600 points. And the guy that actually should have got first was a 14-year-old kid who just stomped the game and got 800 points. So that's okay.
Doc Mac does not allow. Yeah, everything has to be on one credit.
Yeah.
Somehow,
That's
plus
really
playing.
answer. That's really the answer to me was, well, if you know how to do it, go ahead and do it yourself. And that really soured me for his specific, referee skill.
I
You
will
know,
say this. Gavin Ghost Arcade has challenge cards. A couple of challenges got added to my level 2, and one of them was House of the Dead. I was playing through House of the Dead, trying to beat the score. Somehow, player 2 got activated late, like around the boss fight.
which
Somebody
changes
came
the
by
gameplay. Yeah.
a little bit, yes. I don't know who activated it, because I certainly didn't punch it myself, because I had the gun in my hand.
Yeah.
So somebody
Do they
walks
have a House
by,
of the
and then
Dead? Do they have a House of the Dead one person using two guns score? Because that's really the best way to play that game. Like John Woo.
they don't do it on that one. They do it on Johnny Nero Action Hero.
Okay.
So you put in the code to get the score to display on the screen. Well, somebody activated, yeah, and I had to do the whole run again and make sure I had to record the whole run too.
Yeah.
You only have to record if you're like going for the world record or house high, but if you're trying to complete a challenge. I mean,
Of course.
a
Nobody should have
photo
been allowed
is
to be near the machine.
acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot of kids running around because those House of the Dead games get a lot of activity.
Yeah.
So wasn't thrilled because it's like I was having a hard time trying to get through, and then I get through past the first boss, and then somebody screws up my run.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you know what you're doing with the bets of 7, and good
I've
luck with
done a
that.
few of them.
Yeah. I would
I
do one
don't
against
want
you. I would do one against you just for fun. I don't want you to hate me. You know. I mean,
challenge accepted.
if they end up getting the game like Batter, which is one of the newer games up there, it's something you have a Japanese version, the little kid on the tricycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like easily triple the current world record. A lot of these world records, like my Gapless world record, 666, I did that on an upside down monitor with the controls 180 degrees wrong, just to challenge myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped at that score because I was trying to set a score that people could still get.
Yeah.
But people from Galaxies argued that it wasn't actual film because the screen was upside down. They told me that was a camera trick. And I believe in Walter Day, and his idea is if you make the game harder specifically, it still counts. So that's kind of when I stopped doing Twin Galaxies sort of stuff. And they take names off and add names and scores, and they have a score for Kick, 1.6 million.
Mm-hmm.
3 people got it back in 1983 at a contest that supposedly Walter was refereeing. But I know Walter, and he didn't referee that contest. He has 1.6 million is possible in kicks.
Oh,
Because
QIX. I was
yeah, because
thinking Kickman.
no, you're thinking Kickman, a totally different game. No,
Yeah.
Kick, but there's some glitches in Kicks, and it might happen once in a contest, but
Mm-hmm.
not 3 times in a contest. I mean, really, the high score right now is 160,000. So 1.6 million, I don't know. Me and John McAllister worked on it for about a month, and we know how to get 200,000, but it doesn't seem very impressive if the world record is still listed as 1.6.
Joe Snavely has the House High Galloping Ghost with 264K.
Wow. 3 men?
Yes, and
What percentage?
difficulty 2 threshold 60 or 75%.
Oh,
This
that's
was
good.
achieved in 2018.
That's a fantastic score.
Yep. And he's not the best player either, Jumping Ghost. But I haven't heard from him lately either.
What's the high score on Gapless there?
Okay, Gapless is held by Larry Brucky at 532K. But it is an older ROM set.
Well, there's 4 different ROM sets. I own all 4. Which ROM set is it?
It doesn't give you an S flag. I know that much. In the first stage, if you
It doesn't give you the
perform
what?
a little trick.
Well,
The special flag from Rally X.
yeah, actually, that flag. There's one of those on every level of the game, in every version of the PCB.
Yeah, this one
They,
didn't.
they appear in different places.
Okay.
So I mean, and actually, the secret is not to get the flag and get blown up by the mother fighter, because then your ship turns into the Enterprise, and you have 2.5 times the firepower. But because I know that, people say that my score is not valid. And I'm like, it's programmed to do the game. You know?
Yeah, if you know how to do it, do it.
If it's programmed into the game, I mean, not if it's obviously like the Galaga no shooting, that's a glitch.
Yeah.
And that cannot be valid. You know,
Right.
and the new Gunsmoke, you know, with however many credits, it gives you all the butterflies, or the joystick codes for Bubble Bobble, or the high score initial codes for Bubble Bobble. People that referee those games have to really, really, really know those games in order for them to be, to me, confirmed.
Now they
'Cause there's
have
a lot of- yeah.
they have set rules on games. They tell you up front what you cannot do. Like in Super Mario Brothers, the arcade game, there's a very long rule set on that one.
Well, yeah, you can get unlimited men in that game pretty easily with the stairs.
Yeah, if you can even though they changed it where that trick is harder to do because there's fewer opportunities to do it, but just sacrificing lives just to run up your score by collecting the same one up is pretty much barred on pretty much all games they have.
Well, look at Ghosts and Goblins. You can get 70,000 per man, and that gives you extra man.
Yeah,
Ghosts and Goblins should be grandfathered in as high scores are not valid, because I know
think they
somebody who got
allowed that.
what?
I don't think they barred that one.
Well, because if you don't know the game really, really high level well, you don't know what people are learning and doing and trying to sneak by. You know, I don't think farming men in Ghosts and Goblins should be allowed.
I think they cut it off at nope. There's a 5-man maximum. 20,000, 80,000 only. They don't have it no more after that.
Yeah,
No bonus men after that. So
that's a good way to stop that. That's good.
yes. All right. We kind of went off on a tangent because I haven't gotten to talk about you yet. So, kind of kick this off. Kind of give me the overview on how you got into gaming and what got you hooked and grinding on scores.
Playing games from the age of 12. Decided I didn't want to be Rob as a 3-letter acronym, so I became Sid. Because not many people were named Sid. And if you saw my name on the score, like Sinistar or something in '83, people knew it was me. Some people pretended to be me, and I'd play them head to head, and it would be obvious that it wasn't them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be nice about it. I'd be like, "Hey, if your name is Sid, can you use different initials, please?" So, you know, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to make people look silly. But it was based on Sid and Marty Krofft, not Sid Vicious. People think either Sid Vicious or Richie thought it was Sid Caesar, the comedian from the 50s. But no, Sid and Marty Croft, the people that made Land of the Lost, State Drop Up and stuff, Bugaloos, all of that stuff. Brady Bunch Variety Hour, worst TV show ever made. It's so horribly bad that it's kind of fun to watch. Like Pink Lady and Jeff, another Sid and Marty Croft thing. So played games a lot, went to community college, but I was already helping Atari do gameplay advising or kind of like, hey, this game's broken. Like worked on Gauntlet. I played Gauntlet for 78 hours straight on 50 cents. 2 players. I played as the fighter and the warrior. Played a whole weekend. That was kind of exciting. I was trying to get 1,000,000 health because I thought that the game was broken, and you can actually farm for health if you use screen control. And because of that, Atari wanted me to work on Gauntlet 2. Didn't pay me a whole lot, just as a consultant. And I put the dragon on level 5, I think. And that Gauntlet 2 dragon, you can't beat it by yourself, which was the idea, but it made the game make a lot less money. Nobody ever talks about how great Gauntlet 2 is, because there's things in it like deaths and stuff that are pretty unbeatable by yourself.
Unless you got a magic potion.
You have to do what? The vulture?
You can destroy death with a magic potion, and you kind of have to run credits to see what bonus you get from using the smart bomb.
Yeah.
You want it to be 8,000 for maximum points, because it starts at 1, the next credit it's 2, the next credit is 4, and the next credit is 8.
Yeah.
You're gonna play through it and see what bonus it gives, and then the next credit's gonna be the next game you play is gonna be different.
Yeah. It's weird. Atari was doing some weird stuff. Actually, I just picked up a Zybot's machine, which was supposed to be Gauntlet 3 when they were developing it, but they couldn't get the machine that they had working with the medium res graphics to work as a 4-player game. So they made it 2 players and made it kind of a, if you're familiar with Zybots in 1987, kind of a Frenzy Berserk Robotron, kind of a first-person game, even though you see your character. It's kind of like
third person behind the back.
Well, it's third person behind the back, but you're playing. You see the character that you are. I mean, it's kind of like saying Punch Out is first person because you have a wireframe of yourself. Punch Out is also kind of third person behind the back. But Zybots was one of the first first person shooter type games in the arcade. If you think about it, I mean, Doom never came to the arcade as an arcade game. But let's go back to. So I started advising for Culture Brain. They were the company that actually had the rights to Donkey Kong in America at one point. I was told they sold the rights for $10,000, which was a mistake. And then I went on. And then I went on and worked for IRAM and FabTech, who also owned CAD and March. Doing some game advising. They'd bring me to an arcade and say, "What do you think of this game? And how would you fix it?" And worked on R-Type and Hammer and Harry and Saint Dragon. And I wish I was there early enough to work on Moon Patrol, because Moon Patrol's, to me, one of the perfect games, just the way it is.
Now, wait a minute. So you were at Zyrim, so Moon Patrol was after your time there?
No, Moon Patrol was before my time. Moon Patrol was 82. I wish I'd been there. I wish I'd been there that early, but I would have been like 17. So
we're looking for a game called Horizon.
I know, the sequel to Moon Patrol.
Or spiritual sequel. Anyway.
I'll put some. Well, that's kind of like Blast Off is the spiritual sequel to Bosconian.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Blast Off?
Yes, I played through it. I tried to. That was another score I battled Andrew Iwaszko over, and he got it, and I could not. He got a lot more points than I did.
It sounds like a good player, but not a very good person. There seems to be some of that in the community.
Him or me?
Him.
Oh.
Him. I mean, if he's having beefs and trying to get other people to beat your scores, that seems kind of petty.
A little bit. Well,
that's okay.
If you knew me, during my run for Gamer of the Year, I had a whole slew of people attack my scores all at once. I've had that happen a couple of times,
Yeah.
and I had to dig myself out of a hole. So, but my quest for Game of the Year, I had drew up a plan B and went after plan B, and then slowly dug myself out of the hole.
Yeah. I mean, other than Galloping Ghost, nobody really seems to care about scores. Twin Galaxies has only done one event since Chase bought it in 2014.
Yeah.
He did one event in Pennsylvania. Joe Levan does World Record Weekend every year in September up in Pennsylvania. That's where the Panic Mode Ping 3. It's weird. Yeah. That's where my score of 600,000 was beat. I wasn't necessarily trying to get the best scores. I was just trying to get better. I was trying to get something on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I don't have a Ping 3 currently. I do have a Mister I could play it on, but I believe arcade scores should be gotten specifically on arcade machines.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mostly, I mean, somebody just beat the world record on Paperboy on MAME, and I'm like, that doesn't count because Paperboy has really weird controls. And
no, it's tracked separately.
It should be tracked separately. I mean, maybe R-Type when you have a joystick and two buttons or whatever, that could be okay on MAME because it plays exactly the same. On Mister, if you have a FPRG version, MAME plays differently. It's not nearly as good because it's emulation. I just to respect the game, I wouldn't want to get like a world record on Prop Cycle by playing it with a Dreamcast controller or something. And there are people that do that. And I'm like, okay, well, find a real machine and I'll play against you. That would be horrible because Prop Cycle, you're pedaling the bike really, really fast, and I'm older,
I ain't no spring chicken either.
You're a little bit younger than me.
A little bit.
So I remember FabTech, and then Nintendo hired me to be a game counselor, and I did some advising on what to add as an arcade game. And they're like, what games that were you really impressed with that haven't been released yet? And I said, well, R-Type.
Yes. And you're frozen.
What?
Oh, there you go. You're back.
I'm back.
You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to hardwire my stream, but go ahead.
No, I advised them that R-Types, as it wasn't going to make any money in America because it's too hard, and nobody in America in '87 read instructions before they played the game. They just play it 3 times and say, screw this, and walked away. Now, people in Asia and Japan loved R-Type, and they still do. It's one of the more famous games that I worked on. It's a great game, but the whole concept with the weird pot and everything was different. We were trying to do a Gradius Life Force sort of thing,
Yeah.
And they did R-Type, and they did R-Type 2, and those games are the best looking Nintendo games because Nintendo games don't usually look very good, but that doesn't necessarily make them the best games. Dr. Mario, they wanted to call it Virus when I was test marketing the Nintendo. I think it was a NES ROM at the time.
Yeah.
They wanted to call it Virus because it's all about pills. And I just said, like, I guess to the owner, I still don't know his name, Hideo or something. He happened to be in a meeting that I was in at the game counselor, and I'm like, you can't call it Virus. In America, we just had AIDS, and nobody's going to want to touch a machine called Virus. I'm like, throw Mario on there. So I don't know if I was the one specifically that gave him that idea, but they threw a doctor on there, and he doesn't do anything. Kind of like real life doctors. Sorry, that's kind of a political point there, but so Dr. Mario was one of their best selling games, and it's a great game. The arcade version is so different than the first version.
And look up here. It says Virus.
Oh, does it?
It says up here, yeah, this is a prototype. This is the prototype. So
that's probably the one I was working on, and I said, don't call it Virus because it won't do well in American audiences.
And I see there's a bulldog here. these viruses here are not animated. It's like you'd had the dancing viruses around here, but yeah, they're not present. So this
And
is
there's
a
no
very
Mario.
very
And there's
early proto.
yeah, and there's no Mario.
No, it's right here.
What?
This is Mario right here.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like it, doesn't it? I don't think it. I don't think they gave this guy. I don't think they gave this a different character, or they didn't put somebody else here. But yeah, this is the title screen. Go back here. It's just this.
So yeah, I
That's
mean,
it.
nothing officially because as a game counselor, we didn't get credit for anything that we said or did, or we just got paid to answer kids' calls on the phone
Yeah.
about how to work on Zelda 2 and how to get through that secret wall they have to jump through and different things in Metroid. So we learned the games backwards and forwards really quickly.
And
We
this
had a
is a
big dream.
later proto. This is a later proto. They switch out the sick dog, and then here's the dancing viruses.
Yeah,
This is pulsating now. This looks more like the finished.
closer. Yeah.
Yep. And then there's one more, and then this is probably a late prototype because it's got. Well, maybe this is the finished
So
one.
Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
So what's the Galloping Ghost high score for Rolling Thunder?
Rolling Thunder. Here we go. Rolling Thunder. So they got two. They got Rolling Thunder 1 and 2. Brian, nope.
He was horrible.
Records has it. Okay. So it's 460
Okay.
by Clark Snavely, and that's probably the brother of Joel. So not as high as the one at Fun Spot. No,
Yeah.
as Richie Knuckles' place, which is long gone now, unfortunately. So
Yeah, he's had a few different spaces.
yeah.
He seems to get into business with people who aren't about integrity. Probably the nicest way to put that. Yeah, Richie. No, I'm not knocking Richie's integrity. I'm knocking his business partner sometimes. He's
I didn't know he had one.
He's had a few different business partners for locations who had a different view of what would happen in the arcade.
Okay.
And, either bought him out or forced him out. Richie's all about the game and all about the repairing and loving the games. He's one of my dearest brothers. He's great. I can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit of his arcades haven't always failed because of him. They've usually failed because of somebody else involved. But that's why I'm doing a lot of arcade things and events in my basement, actually. I call it Sid Sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing my ACES verified custom designed Donkey Kong Jr. ROM sets. Billy and Robbie were playing them in Indiana back in 2018 for a whole weekend. They couldn't get enough of them. And I've made it so you can't practice the game beforehand. And when you show up at my events, if it's in my place or if it's anywhere that I'm traveling, everyone discovers how to play the game together. Because to me, that's what 1980s arcade games should be about. Don't you love going to an arcade and finding a game you've never seen before? That doesn't happen to you anymore, does it?
I see that every week with Galloping Ghosts Monday Mystery streams.
Yeah, but isn't it cooler to go there in person and like touch a machine you've never played and figure out how to play it by yourself? Isn't that a big part of the joy?
If I can, yes.
If you can.
If I can, because
But most retro arcades only have the same basic 20 games because they're there to sling beer. They're not there to care about the games. Even the new Chuck E. Cheese, the Chuck's arcade thing they're doing, they're like every location will have 5 retro games. Well, cool, but if you don't have them all the same retro games, and if you don't connect them Wi-Fi, and you don't add leaderboards, nobody our age is going to care. If that makes any sense. That's my take on it.
It does make some sense to me. Well, my experience is, yeah, I look for arcades that I haven't been to in my area. I show up, yeah, Gavin Ghost had their games. I've gone to other places and see a few things that I've never seen before. Draftcade out in Kansas City, they had about 4 or 5 machines I had never seen or played before.
They buy some of the new indie games is what they do.
Well, they weren't indie games.
No?
They had Chaos, which is a game plan release.
Yeah, that's a good game.
I've never seen or played it.
I,
Well, actually, I've seen pictures of it, but I've never played it.
uh,
They had it there, so I got on it, and I was trying to reach a certain point on
what
it.
other game plan games can you name?
Say again?
What other games by game plan can you name? Can you name any other
The
game
other
plan
game
games?
plans games that I know of, I'm on the search for an actual Killer Comet, a complete one, not.
A Killer Comet?
Yes.
You sure it's not Haley's Comet?
Haley's Comet is a completely different game and a later release.
Because I've seen Haley's Comet in a Killer Comet machine called the wrong thing. I'm also looking into buying an Invader War that somebody is telling it's a Space Invaders. Invader War. Sorry.
We had a freeze there. Go ahead and say that again.
Yeah. No, I'm also looking into buying an Invader War, but somebody says that it's a Space Invaders, which is fine, but Space Invaders is not what I would want. I would want the weird, obscure bootleg. Because currently in my arcade, I have Rugrats 1980 Mitsubishi machine. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be the only one known to exist in a cocktail form. And I have a 1958 bingo pinball machine called Valley Hi-Fi that has flipper buttons, but no flippers. But when you press the button, the whole machine shakes violently. I call them bump flippers because I didn't know what else to call them.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I have a Mr. Driller with 8 different versions of the same board in it, and a Gapless. People don't realize how rare Gapless is compared to Galaga.
If you have a Galaga 3 board in it.
What?
It's also called Galaga 3.
Yeah, it's also called Galaga 3. Yeah, I have 2 Galaga 3 boards and I have 2 Gapless boards. They were actually called Gapless. If you look at the first Galaga, actually, if you look at it from the right side, the way that the marquee is on the regular Galaga, you can pull it up right now. It actually looks like the first Galaga actually looks like it says Galaga 3. Unfortunately, because of the shape of the writing on the marquee of the first Galaga, if you look at it from the right, it looks like Galaga 3. And nobody realizes that until I mention it to them. Richie realized that, but I was like, but most people are like, I mean, that's why they changed the name from Galaga 3 to Gapless. But I've also been told that it was called Gapless first, and people are like, oh, it's kind of like Galaga. See how that looks like Galaga 3?
Oh, because of this?
It totally looks like Galaga 3 because the green line.
Yeah.
The shape of the marquee makes it look like Galaga 3, but nobody ever thinks of it that way.
Yeah, now that I see that.
Now that you see that, that's totally. And so when people saw Galaga 3 in an arcade, they thought it was Galaga, and it was 2 years later. They didn't care anymore. And also, operators and arcade owners would put the Galaga 3 board into a Galaga, which sounds like a good idea, except Galaga 3, you can go halfway up the screen, and it's an 8-directional game. So they were sticking in the Galaga machine, and all you have is right and left. Makes the game way, way, way incredibly challenging and really exciting. I've actually played the game that way because I play games blindfolded. I play games based on sound like Centipede and Mr. Driller, and I just like making games more difficult just for my own, giggles.
Trying to pull this up. Here we go.
What?
This is the Galaga 3 marquee.
Yeah. But you can see how the regular Galaga marquee looks like it says Galaga 3. Because it's funny, because Galaga is actually, as you know, it actually is Galaxian 2.
Yeah.
Because Galaxian is the first in the series. It was Galaxian, and then Galaga 3. So Galaga 3 didn't make sense to a lot of people because they never saw Galaga 2.
Right.
Galaga 2
And
is Galaga 2 is Galaga 2. I mean, Galaga is Galaga, you know what I mean? The second game in the series is called Galaga. Great game,
oh, look
fantastic
at
game.
this.
Anyone that's drunk can play Galaga. Right, left, shoot. No matter how drunk you are, you can play Galaga and think that you're good.
I think this is custom, but somebody made a Gal Plus version of the Galaga 3 logo here.
That's cool.
I don't know who did this.
The second one's the one that I have on my machine.
Yeah, this is
I
the
wish
real
that
thing.
I wish my Gap Plus had the kick plate that some of the Midway games had. I put my Gap Plus right next to my Bosconian, which is a way underrated game.
Mm-hmm.
Bosconian to me kind of feels like a sequel to Rally X in many ways. If you think about
Really?
it. Well, if you think, I mean, you've played both games, right? Both games,
Yes.
you're in the middle of the screen. It looks like you're moving, but you're not. Things around you are moving. You're moving things towards you and away from you. And you have that radar up in the top right corner. I mean, it's obviously made on the same platform or the same ROM chip. But yeah, to me, I mean, Rally X is much harder, I think, than Bosconian.
Yes, definitely.
Because Rally X, the radar doesn't do you any good.
No, not
It
a
really
lot.
doesn't. If you're looking at the radar, you're not looking at your car and the things around you. And when you see a car come around a corner, you're pretty much dead because of the collision detection. And I mean, the movements are great and fantastic, but they're consistently crappy, if that makes any sense. Kind of like Burger
Well,
Time.
one, you
And,
can shoot at them too. That's the other key difference.
oh,
So you can
Bosconian, yeah,
defend your
yeah. Well,
yeah.
and you can go diagonal in Bosconian.
Right.
You
Right.
can't do that. But if you do you see the similarities between Rally X and Bosconian? Most
Yeah,
people
you
don't
have
make
a
that.
fixed. You
What?
have a fixed. You have a fixed player in the middle of the screen.
Well,
And the
and you
whole
have a radar up there in the top right corner, and you have the
right.
score down below. I mean, it's one's Midway and one's isn't Rally X Namco,
Yes.
but Bosconian plays like a Namco game. Actually, I think it was by Namco in a Midway cabinet.
Yeah, that is correct. Your audio did
Well,
something.
it was a Midway game, and I'm like, okay, it was released by Midway, but it's a IRAM software. Most companies, I mean, Atari made, I think, one of the worst released arcade games called Kangaroo. There's just nothing good about Kangaroo, but
It's hard,
Atari
yes.
Atari released it, but it was actually developed by Sun,
Yeah.
and it kind of felt like
It.
the team that made that went on to make Arabian, which is a very very similar game but much better gameplay. Arabian's a pretty decent game, kind of like Rock and Rope. Sorry, we're just talking about games. We're not really talking about me.
I will. Let me
But I was
answer
a game
your other
counselor. I
question.
was a game counselor at Microsoft in the '90s.
Yeah.
During COVID, Sony asked me to make some trophy lists for them, and I had a team of like 70 people, and a few of us were the trophy designers, and I created the trophies for Mr. Driller, which still haven't been released. I put in some of my Team Scorechasers names for that was kind of cool. A Siphon Filter, the Apes Odyssey games. There's a game called Bad Man. What have I done to deserve this? Weird Japanese game that came out of the PS4. Yeah, the true. But I didn't, as many companies, you don't really officially get credit for what you did if you're doing add-ons like trophies and stuff. So there's some people saying that I didn't do any of this stuff, but I don't know. I feel if people talk to me for a few minutes, they realize I might be crazy, but I'm not incorrect in what I've done in the gaming world. The same thing with DJing. I've been DJing since '78. Yeah, DJ Azrael, which is another. I kind of want to keep my personas separate, but they're all me. I'm Richie. I agree with Richie. I should be Robert Racek, and I'm working on being that more and more. than I was. I worked for Meta. I worked for Microsoft recently. They pulled me in as a consultant for anywhere from 2 to 20 hours, and I worked on Centipede Cash Blast, which I thought I did a fantastic job for a company called Game Taco. They got the rights to the Atari mobile games to make them P versus P, and they had 4 games, and they were horrible. They were horrendous. They had a breakout where you moved the paddle either left or right, and you only had 2 spaces. I don't know if you ever played any of the Game Taco games, but
I don't remember. What games were they? Game Taco.
they did Atari games. They had a breakout, they had an asteroids, they had a centipede, and they had like a card game. And the asteroids, it's funny, when you died, you could still shoot 2 more times. And I'm like, make it a feature. Call those ghost shots or something, because right now it's really broken. And they made a game and they called it Centipede Cash Blast, which I thought was horrible. If you're playing a game that's online against one other person, even 7 years ago.
This now.
What?
I found this.
You found it?
Yeah.
But I went into the original Centipede code and helped him with. I added the cricket, and I thought the game should have been called Cricket: now with cricket, or Centipede: now with cricket. Like the breakfast cereal with marshmallows. There it is. Is that Centipede Cash Blast?
That is what they say, a Taco Bell Atari promotional CD. Is that what you were talking about?
No. There's a company called Game Taco who got bought by World Winner. World Winner are the ones that do all of the spades and the hearts, and the World Winner makes millions and millions and millions like every month, because they're the ones that attract the people that sit at home and play solitaire all day. Trying to climb leaderboards and stuff, and they're very good with their algorithm. Game Taco was a company, and they had, you could pay like $1 extra and get like the back of your deck of cards in 21 to have the Atari symbol. But they got the rights for like 100 Atari games, and there was 4 of them that they were working on, and I helped them with Centipede Cash Blast. That was the only one I worked on them with, because it took me like 5 months to get paid, which was frustrating for, only working 30 hours for you guys. Like, hey, they're like, you're bothering us. I'm like, I've done work for you and you didn't pay me. So, not to be negative, but.
Nothing came up on a search. Guess I'm going to have to look a little harder. I will answer your prior question of how many game playing games have I heard of. Pot of Gold, Killer Comet, Meg Attack, Challenger, a game called Enigma 2, which seems to have a special place in some people's hearts.
Brian Simpson likes that game. He has the cabinet. I've tried to buy a cabinet. It's kind of a weird maze game. It's not very good. I'm surprised you haven't said Luke.
Incorrect. It is a space shooter.
Enigma 2 is a space shooter?
Yes.
Is the first Enigma a maze game then?
I don't know if an Enigma 1. All I know is Enigma 2 is a space shooter.
Okay.
A gentleman in Ohio has it. It showed up in Chicago at an arcade convention. I discovered another one down in Dallas, Texas at another game convention. I encountered a couple different Enigma 2 cabinets that I recognized that had other games in it. One that showed up at auction in Milwaukee, it had Tetris in it, but I knew what cabinet it was. And I let the auctioneer and the owner of the game know what it was and who ended up buying it, what it was. Taylor Lucas, who is not related to me, but somebody in Indiana who collects Golden Age arcade games, was trying to build an Enigma 2. He had the board, but he was looking for the cabinet. He may have gotten the cabinet from John Yates, who had one. He had Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf arcade game in his.
Yeah, John Yates has so many. He has like 3 or 4 buildings now, just full of arcade games,
Yes, and
mostly not
Hub
open to the public.
Expand.
Yeah, but
Well,
mostly not
yeah,
open to
that's a
the.
warehouse, but that's going to change it a little bit because he's going to open Arcadia Unlimited in the next few weeks,
I
and there's going to be 300 new games in there.
maybe mentioned to him that I would love to come by and run an arcade the way that Aces Verified Arcades does. You know, play the games round robin. You know, have pay the players that have the best scores. Nobody's doing
I
that.
did bring that up, having a
John,
tournament
did
at
you?
Arcadia. Yes, I did last week. I did ask about that.
A lot of people think they can do it themselves, and they don't do it right. I'm sorry if that sounds shitty, but you know, a lot of people are
If
like,
I
hey,
do it, if I were to do it, I'd pretty much do it like T20, like Galloping Ghost does their tournaments,
yeah,
kind of rank points. Highest score of the day, how many players are entered, assigned a
yeah,
number of points
triangle
by
scoring.
rank.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I do with Aces Verified when I do Aces Verified events. I try to throw in things like Moon Patrol no shooting, 5-man start.
Yeah.
You can get the extra man at 10,000, but Moon Patrol no shooting, the world record is 18,004. I think it's actually on Twin Galaxies. I got it there as an option. And people that play Moon Patrol say it's a stupid idea of playing because you can't get past Section U. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. It's a matter of where you die on purpose or how you die on purpose to maximize points.
Yeah.
It's a really, really kind of like one ship asteroids. The highest score ever is like 258,000 points with asteroids, one ship, no extra men ever. Sam McNear got 258,000. I think he filmed it and verified it. Those are the kind of things that I want people. You know, I want everyone to play in arcade tournaments, but I don't want to watch somebody play asteroids and roll it over 50 times. You know,
Yeah.
500,000. I mean, a lot of people can do that. That's what kills arcade tournaments is the basic high score run on games that are marathonable. You have that one person that can get 3 million on Pac-Man. It makes it so nobody else can play. It makes the contest unfair.
Yeah, you're basically playing for the kill screen. You have to be good enough to reach the kill screen.
Yeah, but nobody really. I mean, once you've seen a kill screen on any game, you really don't, as a spectator, you don't care anymore. I mean, being involved in Kong Off, 6, and Richie says that I'm in charge of the future Kong Offs. I don't know if that's been officially said yet, but he says he would give me all the permissions to do the Kong Offs the way that I
don't
want
know
to.
if there's gonna be any more of them.
Well, he's given me permission to do them, so we'll see. I have a different format. I don't want 20 machines. I don't want people that have machines at home that are really good to come play a machine they've never played. We're past the point where anybody's going to get a world record live. That's not going to happen at a Kong Off. They're not. Kong Offs have never been set up for world record attempts. And most spectators don't want to wait 3.5 hours to see somebody get a kill screen that might only be 600,000 points. I think a better test is my daughter board ROMs that I've created myself and designed with Sockmaster. He did the coding, but I told him I want 12 letters in the high score board so people can put their actual name, or you can be butt munch or douchebag or whatever you want to be, because that's kind of funny, We're all kind of 12-year-olds inside a little bit. And there's 16 different ways I can set the machine up, and there's going to be 3 different maps throughout the week: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's pretty much the format that I want to do with the future Kong Offs. 5 machines. I'll have a couple of Donkey Kong Jr. machines. I'll have a Frogger machine. Give a bounty for the first one to get 100,000. Because not many people can do that. I'll have a Mr. Driller machine. Come beat the champ. If you beat my score, you get money. I want the players, $1 a game, $1 per game attempt. And some people might complain about that, but that's a good way to make a prize pot, right? If you think about it, in a 2.5 minute game, you're going to get between 20 and 30 plays an hour per machine. That's instead of the admission for conventions going to the convention people. Let's get the admission to the gamers going to the gamers, you know, going to the location, but also going to the people that play should. The only Kong off that ever like gave anyone money was the Kong off 6. And I was involved in getting Comcast specifically to give $1,000 to Richie so that would be the prize money. And he gave all the prize money to Robbie, who got first place. I would have split up the prize money differently, but that's just me. You know, I don't think the first place person should get all the money. It should be paid out at least 3 places, maybe 5 places.
Yeah.
Or
Calvin
have
Ghost
side
does it
machines.
that
You know,
way.
at Kong off 6, I ran a game tournament where I had 12 machines, and it was free to get in, and I gave out prizes to the top 5 people because I want more people playing games, not less. You know, I want people coming who understand that there are some really good players, but they're not. You know, they're not being. I want the best players to have integrity and be nice about it. You know.
I'm trying to find the video where you have this Donkey Kong Jr. competition cart or an arcade board. I'm not finding it. And I saw it earlier and I'm like, how the heck did I lose it?
Well, I have that machine here in my basement right now.
Yeah, because I saw gameplay. It would do the bonus screen. It's either a Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong
Yeah, but there's
Jr.
16 different ways I can set it up, and nobody's played any of them. I haven't even played all. I've only played 2 or 3 of them. I did one at the Tacoma Northwest Pinball Show a couple years ago, and Sam McNear and John McAllister, both 2 of my Team Scorechasers. Johnny has over 200 arcade world record scores, gotten on arcade machines, and I don't know how many main scores he has. He would go and spend like a month at Fun Spot and say, what's a high score? And then he'd beat it. And he was doing the same thing, kind of low hanging fruit. You know, he was like, because most people, even most of us really only care about the world records for Donkey Kong, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's been heavily contested.
What?
I know it's been heavily contested over the last few years until
The Donkey Kong scores? Well, the world record's always been known to be Robbie's. You know, some of the scores that Billy put up didn't seem to be put up legitimately. But I've also seen him get all 4 of those scores in person, live, and then drop the mic and then drop the joystick, basically. Yeah. So he had the skill to do those things. I just don't think the videotape that he showed was created organically by him playing it.
So
I don't know.
Stance on that is, I am not going to litigate all that. The only score that I will be willing to litigate is when he got the perfect pack score on a class of 81 arcade machine, which the highest possible score is 3.38 million, which I did watch in person, although I've been watching him tip the score over a 10-day period on Twitch. I just happened the day he got it was the day I drove up to Galvin Ghost and saw him cross the finish line.
I think it's cheesy that he starts with 5 men and 1 extra. He says that's how Pac-Man used to be on the East Coast, and I call bullshit on that. But Billy's a great guy. He's a good game ambassador. He's really good at what he does. He's always been nice to me, you know. But you heard me. I didn't say that all of his score. I don't know. I would not have accepted that videotape that was used in the King of Kong. But Jace Hall had a good reason in 2017 to make Twin Galaxies. Everyone knew what Twin Galaxies was because of the allegations that he made. You know, so he had a pretty good interest in calling out the best gamer for cheating.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if he cheated. I don't think he didn't have the skill to make that videotape in 2008. There's other people that had that skill. I've been to enough shows with Billy. I've paid him to come to shows. He can't get a candy bar out of a candy machine until recently. I mean, he's really. I'm not putting him down. He's stuck in the '80s. He's a luddite. He's. I mean that in the best
I
way.
wish I was in the 80s again, but you know.
I mean, he had a flip phone until like 6 years ago. You know, he didn't have that skill in 2008. So I'm not saying that it wasn't faked. I'm just saying he specifically didn't do it.
He didn't set it. Well,
I don't know.
like I said, I'm not going to litigate it,
Yeah.
and everybody's mind is made up. Lawsuits have happened left and right. We just got the court suit
I think
just settled.
it should be people like me and Richie and various other people that are referees live verification.
Yeah.
Live verification and if it's a world record attempt, make a
It's got to
videotape.
be filmed. It's got to be filmed.
It's got to be filmed, and it's got to be filmed, but shown to other people who contest it. You know
Yes.
that I've been contesting that bubble bobble 10 million points, and he has some things online about it, but I'm like, I know enough about the game that I bet money he couldn't do it live. I bet money he couldn't get 5 million live. You know,
Not without, well, and then the other question is how long has it been since he's played it? And then
no, this is just like.
And video froze again. Stand by 1 second. Am I frozen? Robert is frozen. I'm trying to figure out if I'm frozen. Doesn't look like I'm frozen. I'm going to take him down for a second. Hopefully he comes back. Something happened. Let's see if he's back yet. Well, no, his video is not. Okay. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to send him a note, and we're going to try and reestablish contact. We'll take a quick break. I see he dropped off. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll continue this in a moment, and hopefully get everything back to normal in a second. So stay tuned, everybody. Well, I have to apologize to everybody. It looks like we lost Sid Seattle entirely. I sent him some Facebook messages, but he has not responded. So I'm going to give him a bit more time to try to get back in here. I do have a few things I can kind of cover while we're waiting. So, yeah, that stinks. The discussion was going real good there. It was like, and some just had a mishap. Well, it happens. That's what happened. It means things happen, unfortunately. Yes, Trey. Yes, definitely called it. Well, let me continue on with the announcements. So we had the high scores. Power rankings at Galvin Gosek. By the way, this cat. Crashed my stream, and he's looking for a way up here to interrupt it again. Power rankings for early March, halfway through the 17th season of the Galvin Ghost Arcade, and yeah, I'm kind of hurting right now. I need to get back up there, and don't know when I'm going to make it back up there. Hopefully soon. Because I don't like being in 11th place, and Andrew Iwaszko is a nemesis. Chase for tokens. Not really much of a change here in the order. Let me hide this up here because that's covering it up. Anyway, yes. No change in the order there. C2E2 will be coming this March 29th through the 27th through the 29th. Galvin Ghost is going to have a major presence up there and bring some games that are not on the arcade floor. And I'm having to watch a cat behind us. Let me check these out. Give him a get back away. Same weekend, however, Sunday, March the 29th from 10 to 4. Yeah, I already talked about Beezer, Tracy. Yeah, I know. If they pull out Beezer for C2E2, I'll be shocked. Let's Go Retro Gaming Expo is happening Sunday, the 29th. So conceivably, you could run up for C2E2 on Saturday and then go over to Let's Go Retro on Sunday, the 29th in Orland Park Civic Center. And Louisville Arcade Expo, March 27th and 29th in Louisville, Kentucky. Same weekend. Como Retro at the Northeast Event Center in Columbia, Missouri from 10 to 4. It's kind of up in the air as to whether I'm going to be going to that or not. But I might be needed somewhere else that particular day. And the Midwest Gaming Classic, 25th anniversary. And by the way, I've got to show something off here. I made this. Yeah, Robert has not responded, so I may not get him back. Unfortunate. Let me take this down for a second. Let me show this off. Present, invite, share screen. Yeah, I made this one for fun. This is the template. I grabbed the template that Midwest Gaming Classic is using to announce their guests, and decided to put me on there because, I've got a 20-show streak going. I'd like to have one of these as an official guest, but, get out the paint.net and then put this together, and it turned out pretty good. You'd almost think that I was going to be a guest going to be an actual guest at the Midwest Gaming Classic, but no, I'm more of a fixture at the Midwest Gaming Classic because I go every year. And this year, yes, I'm going to take my new Insta 360 camera, walk around the entire convention, film the whole convention in 360. Film an entire walk around. And so if I miss anything, I can go back and review the footage of the 360 view and spot things or people that I missed walking around. It's an excellent little tool to be using. We throw this back up here. There we go. So the hotel, the Hilton sold out. Secondary hotels are going to have to be booked for Saturday. So April through 27th to 26th. This will be my 21st. St. Joseph RetroCon 2026 in St. Joseph, Missouri on June 2nd and 3rd. They've broken away from Colt Scobie, and that was a good decision considering that he got in trouble with the law recently. So, let me see if I got Robert. Robert has not responded. Oh, he is. Okay, I might get him back. You might get a response from him in a moment. I have not seen him rejoin. Let me see. What's up? How's it going? Robert is going to respond to my Facebook message. I'm just waiting for him to send it. Let me continue on here in the meantime. Well, you know what? Let's announce my guest for next week. It will be Lawson Newland. He is an actor and producer. He's in a number of productions, but he has the new Super Wall Jump podcast. So he will be on the Crimeycade next week. Let's see if he's responded. What's up, Ava? Still waiting for a response from him. Well, this sucks. Well, anyway, but that's not all I'm going to announce. Los Anula will be the guest next week. On March 26th, I will have the Stephen Westbrook, who is a man of many talents. He is opening the new Pin Bar down where he lives in, Dallas, the Dallas area. Dallas, Texas. He also has Arcade Fort Smith. Maybe that's in Arkansas. I'm not sure. I think it's Arkansas. I should. You know what? I gotta check that real quick. Yeah, he's not been able to get back in. Dang me. Something's not right here. Oh, here we go. Robert has let me know he suffered a power outage. Okay. Oh, good. Robert Racek has suffered a power outage where he lives, and his phone is out of juice as well. So, unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and call it for tonight. Hopefully, I'll get Robert back on, maybe in a couple weeks. Let me ask him real quick. A couple weeks, maybe? I'll ask it. I'll get him rescheduled because I got all of April open. So we'll see. Anyway, Stephen Westbrook will be the guest on March the 26th. Yeah, he's also a wrestling promoter, believe it or not, besides a former police officer. Another person who stole my gimmick. Yeah, gaming and wrestling is mixing together. What a shock. Anyway. Wow. Anyway, I will be raiding the channel. I'm sorry I have to cut it short. Yes, stinks, but, things happen. Crappy weather. Weather is volatile. We're going to have a slight warm-up, and then temperatures are going to plunge like crazy this weekend. Well, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, 80-degree weather. And then snow and below freezing. And then it's going to go back up into the 70s later in the same week. Yes, Central Illinois, we experience all 4 seasons within a span of a week. Anyway, who am I going to raid tonight? I am going to raid the channel. Hold on a second. So, who's going to get the raid tonight? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope I'll get Robert Racek back on because, we're going real good there. We're learning. We didn't even get to most of the stuff on this sheet anyway. Well, he just started, and he's playing Resident Evil 9 Requiem. He just started in the last few minutes, so yeah. Yeah, Resident Evil 9's been real good. Excellent. Oh my gosh! Give me I hate to tell you this, but we had a bit of a mishap. Our guest lost power. So please turn this down a little. Okay, Kitty, so we had a bit of a mishap. Robert Racek, Seattle said, lost power where he lives. And sadly, we had to cut the podcast short because he's not going to be able to get back in for tonight. So, yeah, we ended sooner than we wanted. Yeah, I know. But I want to thank you for the raid. I will put you in the Chiron below as someone who gave me a raid recently, and maybe I'll return the favor. If I find you streaming, I'll find a way to I'll return the favor in the future. For tonight, however, I will go ahead and give the raid to the Brotherford, who is playing Resident Evil 9 tonight. Getting further into the game, he just started a short while ago, so there's been a lot of chatter about this game, and they've been announcing some DLC is coming down the pike. So, although I've also seen criticism of the game as well about the story and stuff. Be that as it may, I think it's going to be Game of the Year, just crushing the competition, not just because it's a Resident Evil game, it's because it is a fun game to play, besides being scary. Alright, until next time, I'm the Mad Conservative Cryfire. I'm just it's going to time out in a second, so going to automatically send me over. Let me shout out everybody before I get out of here who are in the stream chat. A-Train, F-Symbols, Flo Beamer, 1922, Hater Shack, Kenny AF, Pinky Pittance, S'mores05, Stupendous Man, Sis Crusher, Tracy Glebe, Pancreas. Thank you for joining me tonight. Have a good night, and hope to see you around the arcade soon. Have a good night, everybody.